Right. So, good morning once again. First, we will quickly see what we did yesterday, and once we are done with that, we will start with VLOOKUP. Let me first answer the question. Just a minute. Okay. Can I please repeat the formula of if condition of incentive? Absolutely. Let me open that. This one, right? Please confirm if this is what you were asking for. It is all right. The problem statement is that there are different customers, and each customer will get an incentive or not get an incentive. How does a person get an incentive? There are 4 conditions that have to be met. Number 1, the achievement should be more than 100%. Obviously, there are targets given for product A and product B. That means that product A goal should be met and product B goal should be met. And the 4th condition is that the date of joining should be. I don't think it's a problem on my end. I will still check once. No, it's definitely not a problem on my end. Maybe you can disconnect and try to reconnect, because I have as you can see, I have a 350 Mbps connection. Yeah. So Raja, if you can maybe just try to disconnect and reconnect, maybe that might help. Right. In the meantime, if anybody else has any questions, you can ask while he tries to reconnect. Okay, so very quickly, we had done SUMIF, in which we have 3 conditions. We are searching for the criteria in a range, and there is a sum range. After that, we did sum ifs. So if you have more than one condition, then you have to use sum ifs, where we are searching for 3 things. That means the market should be USCA, the sales amount should be greater than equal to 2000, and it should be less than equal to 2500, basically between 2 to 2500. And if all these 3 conditions are met, then we have to sum which column? The J column. And of course, we did a COUNTIF as well. So COUNTIF, we saw that we can basically select a column and say that how many times in this column, out of 100 transactions, how many are falling under technology. Any questions on this, anybody? On what we had done yesterday? Sure. Arpit, which one are you asking for? Are you asking for SUMIF or SUMIFS?
Some IFS, IFS.
The second one.
The second one, yeah, second one, right.
Let's look at the first line. The first argument, if you can see my cursor, is sum range. That means which column do I want to sum? Obviously, it is column J, where all the sales values are given. But do I want to sum all the values? No, I only want to sum up those rows where these 3 conditions are met, 1, 2, and 3. So the first condition is that in column E, right, which is this red one, in column E, the value should be Asia Pacific. That's why I'm saying that in EE, which is the criteria range, what is the criteria? B40. That is the first condition. Second condition, in column J, the value should be greater than or equal to B12, which is 2000. And then in same column J, the value should be less than or equal to 2500, like this.
Right. Thanks, Avish. Clear.
Right? Okay. And remember, it is not necessary that you have to do between. I could have also done this. This is also okay, right? What does it mean? It means that I want to know values that are greater than or equal to 2000. I have not put a between. There is no end point. I just want to know, is it minimum 2000, right? So you will get the answer. And I very strongly suggested to everybody to please break this formula into multiple lines by pressing Alt Enter. If you don't do that, it will become even more difficult. Right? So please make sure to use Alt Enter. Great. Then we did subtotal and aggregate. So very simple. Subtotal allows us to total the filtered cells. Right? For example, 9 means that we are looking at the sum. So if I select my market and we select any market, let's say Africa, it is becoming 18,978. But how is it 18,000 even though we have selected F7 to F106? Because it is only showing me the total for the filtered cells, right? What is visible on the screen. And if you want to find out filtered cells and error values, then you have to use aggregate, right? So remember, aggregate will remove the errors. Subtotal does not work with errors, right? Subtotal only removes filtered cells. Or actually, let me say that only shows filtered cells like this. Any questions on this, anyone? The 9 stands for the sum. So like you have the sum, you have different options that have been given to you. So when you write aggregate, you will have options for 1 average, 2 count, 9 sum, like that. I think 99% of the time you will use 1 for average, 2 for count, or maybe 9 for sum. I don't think you will use anything else. This max, min, standard deviation and all is not required. I just wait for 30 seconds if anybody has any questions. Also, please write your formulas at the top of your data. That will make it easier. All of us do what? We write the formula at the bottom. There is nothing wrong with that, but it is much better, right? It is much easier if you write the formula at the top of the sheet. It is easier for you also. It is easier when you send it to somebody else also, because obviously you would like to see the result at the top rather than scrolling at the bottom. All right, now let me see the question. Multiple lines is Alt plus Enter, Rekha. So after we have, for example, let's say we have written 9 and I put a comma. If I want to break it into a different line, I can press Alt Enter. Now that doesn't mean that you can press Alt Enter wherever you want, right? You can only press an Alt Enter after the comma. In fact, I'm going to write it here. So break formula into multiple lines, which is Alt plus Enter, but only after a comma, like this. Okay, now we come to the if example. We spent a lot of time on this. And we have one more example left, which is if s, right? But I'll do that later. First, let's look at this. What we're saying is that for the customer to get an incentive, there are 4 conditions. The achievement should be more than 100%. The product A goal should be met. The product B goal should be met. And the customer should have been with the company for at least 2 years. So if the date of joining is 25th June, has the person completed 2 years? No, because today is the 24th of June, right? If the date of joining is, let's say, 5th April 19, absolutely, the person has completed 2 years. So this is what we are doing. We are writing 4 conditions. And because there are 4 conditions, like I've highlighted, you notice that I have used an and. See, when you have one condition, you use if, but if you have more than one, you have to use and. Now, some of you ask me, and it's a good question, that Havish, why can we not use if s? It's a little difficult to explain. So in the next example, I will tell you where if s will work. But in this example, if s will not work, you have to use an and. There is no other choice. So it's very simple. The first condition is that D6 by C6, which is 192 by 124. So achievement by target is greater than 100%, greater than or equal to 100%. E6 is equal to Y, F6 is equal to Y, and the year frac. So if you remember, year frac was the difference as a number, as a decimal number between G6, which is 25th June, and today, right? And once you do this, you will get a number, and then you check if that number is greater than or equal to 2. So you can see that only 1, 2, and 3 people, right, are meeting the condition. But if this was no, then the person will not meet the condition. Just look at it and tell me if you have any questions. Anyone? Any question? Any difficulty in this that you can think of? See, practice is obviously very important. I think from this point onwards, any topic that we do, whether it's VLOOKUP, pivot tables are easier, but VLOOKUP, formulas, date functions, obviously, you can't expect that in one day you will understand it perfectly and you will be able to do it. There will be mistakes, there will be errors, right? But I hope the logic is clear that we are writing four conditions here, right? That's why I've broken it down into four lines. And if the four conditions are met, it will be Y. Otherwise, it will be no. Can somebody tell me what does this mean if I write or? Anyone?
Option kind of formula.
Okay, but tell me in more detail, what does it mean? If I write or, who will get an incentive? Right? Any condition is met, the person will get an incentive. Now, if I say or, you notice that if I press enter, everybody gets an incentive. How is that possible? Because if the target is more, if the achievement is more than 100, or product A is met, or product B is met, or the person has been more than 2 years. If any one condition is met, the person will get an incentive, right? So simple, right? And means that every condition has to be met, or means that at least one condition has to be met. And it happens, no? So many times we give people an option. We tell them that, for example, when you apply for a loan or you have to give some document to a bank, they say that you can give an address proof, which could be anything, electricity bill, uh, voter card, driver ID, right? Or anything else for that matter. So that is an or, which means that you have a choice that you have given to the person. But and means that even if three are met, one is not met, you will not get the result. If there are four conditions, every single one has to be met. Okay. Also, these spaces have no meaning. Why have I put the spaces? Because I like it. I feel that it is much easier to write a formula. It is much easier to explain a formula if you put spaces. So spaces and alt enter. Right? And where is the space coming? You can put spaces mostly anywhere. Obviously not between G and 6. That will not be allowed. But other than that, spaces can be put anywhere you want. Any formula that you're writing on Excel, if you put spaces, nothing will go wrong. A lot of people say, Havish, will something happen? Nothing will happen if everything will work perfectly. All right. Now we come to a new problem before we go to VLOOKUP, which is this one. Let's look at the problem carefully. There are employees, right? Or let's just call them customers, not employees. So there are customers, and I want to check what is the incentive that they will get, right? Now, target is 124, achievement is 192. Can somebody tell me what is the percentage achievement? What is the formula to find this? Anyone? Equal to?
Equal to E8 divided by D8.
Okay. Now, one way of doing this is to say E8 minus D8 divided by D8. Everybody agrees? Current year minus previous year divided by previous year, or achievement minus target divided by target. What does it tell me? It tells me 55%. There is another way of doing it, which I personally like. I will show it to you. If you like it, do it. Otherwise, you can leave it. Okay. So this is the first option, and this is my second option. Okay. Option one, and this is option two. This option is equal to 192 divided by 124 minus 1. Same answer. I feel the formula is a little simpler. It takes less time to write it. Not much difference. It's just a matter of choice. It's the same thing. E8 divided by D8 minus 1. Right? Like this. You can do whichever one you like. Anyway, so this is the answer that we have. And can you tell me now, what will Aaron Bergman be getting? What incentive will Aaron be getting?
Havish, we have calculated the growth here. I just have one question, because if the target is 124 and achievement is 192, it has crossed 100%. Na?
Yeah, so basically it is showing you how much more you have done. So we will have to
Okay,
do a 1
55.
plus.
That would.
Basically, we'll
Okay,
have to
okay,
do a one pass here, right?
okay, okay. Sorry, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Now tell me, how much will Aaron Bergman get? Looking at the incentive slab that we have,
Maximum
maximum
12.
12,500. Okay. What about these two people, Rick and Jim?
0.
Zero. So I think the question is very clear. So tell me, who gets 5,000 from where to where? From 100% to
124%.
124. Basically, 124.999. So any number that is slightly below 125 will come as 5,000. Same thing, 125 to 149 will come as 10,000. And anything equal to or over 12,500 will come as 150. So we all know what we want. The question is, what is the formula that we write? I will start. If, then what?
And
No, 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 no. Are we checking multiple things? No, we are only checking one thing. We are only checking the achievement. So why do I need an and?
because the incentive slabs three criteria, three
No,
condition is there,
no,
no?
no, no. But these are not three conditions. These are three results.
Okay.
Okay, so we will not use and, right? And what is the reason for it? There is only
There is only one condition.
one condition, right? Which is the achievement percentage, but there are three results. Okay, think about it. If I write and, let's just take an example. Are we trying to check everything at the same time? It doesn't make sense because I have to give different results to people. One person will get 100, one will get 0, one will get 125, one will get 150, like that. So I will simply write if. Tell me, what is the first condition? If, then what?
If achievement 192
Okay.
divided by 124.
Okay, so I will say
This
if
one.
my achievement, right? I'll just select this. This is much easier. So if J8 is what?
Is J8 is the achievement.
J8 is the achievement, right? And but what is the logical test? What do I want to say? J8 is equal to greater
Is
than.
greater than or equal to 100%.
Okay, but there is a problem. No, if I say greater than 100%, just hear me out. 155 is greater than 100. It is also greater than 155. It is also greater than 150. Correct.
Okay.
So how will you know which one is it? If somebody is scoring 155, obviously that person will be greater than 100. Yes or no?
Yes, but if we wanted to like change the data, this formula will be taking. No, that is the reason we
It will
wanted to
be
put
the.
all the results over there.
I agree with you that we need all the points. All I'm saying is we can't go in this order because if I say greater than 100, the person will get 5,000. How will Excel know that the person is also greater than 150? So we will have to go in the reverse order. We will have to say less than 150.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do it this way. I will start by saying if the J8 is greater than 150, that's the first one, right? What will be the result? 12,500. Okay. If it is not greater than 150 or greater than equal to 150, then what should be the result? See, if it is greater than equal to 150, we know it is 12,500. If it is not greater than equal to 150, that means it is less than 150. So what should be the result?
10,000.
But how do you know that? How do you know that it is 10,000 or 5,000 or 0? That is why we will have to put another if statement. Does everybody agree with me? If I tell you that a person is not more than 150, does that mean that that person is 10,000 or 5,000? You don't know that. That is why you will have to do another if. This time we will say that, okay, now let me see if J8, right, is what? Is less than 150. So if it is less than 150, what should be the result? Everyone? If it is less than 150, what should be the result?
10,000.
It will be
10,000.
10,000. Correct? Okay. But if it is less than 150, does that mean it is also less than 125? Maybe not. So we'll have to do
Maybe
another
not.
if. And now you know this. See, now you just have to repeat the pattern. To begin the formula, it is a little difficult, but then it becomes simple. Now we say if it is less than 125, right? Then the result will be 5,000, right? And one final time, I will say that if the value is less than 100%, right, then the result will be what?
0.
0. Right? Now, there are many other ways, better ways of writing this formula, but I wanted to show you the most common way. 99% of people write the formula in this manner. Let's just first check if you're getting the results or not. So you can see that it's not working correctly because it is showing me 12,500, which is okay, 155. 113% will be 10. But what about this one? Look at this.
0.
There should be 0, right? 92. Let's see what the mistake is. Think what the mistake is. See, what has happened is the value is greater than equal to 150. No. Is it less than 150? Yes. But the moment it becomes less than 150, it automatically assigns 10,000 value. Because anything that is less than 100 will also be less than 150. Right? So it's a very tricky problem. If you think about it, it's not actually that simple. Everybody thinks, oh, it's a very simple problem. So what we will do is, let's please see. We will say equal to if I will put a range. And how do you put a range? In this example, how did I put a range? Actually, there was no range here. Just a minute. In this example, in sum if s, remember we said that the value is greater than equal to B12 and it is less than equal to B13 because we said that it should be between 2 to 5. That's what we need to do. So now I will say if, and please watch, I will say and. So we are using an and, but we are not using an and for these three conditions. We are using an and to say that if the value, okay, let's start it very simple. If the value is less than 100, so we'll say if F3 is less than, no, I'm sorry, equal to if my value is less than 100%, right? Then we know the value is 0. There's no question about it. Now let's look at one more. If, what will be the next thing? If the value is, now there are two ways of doing it. I can say if my value in J8 is less than 125%, right? Then the result should not be 0, it should be 5,000. Let's do it one more time. Then again we say if and we say J8 is less than 150%, then my value should be 10,000. And finally, we say that otherwise it is 12,500. Let's see if this works. And you see this one works perfectly. Can we do an and? Could we have said that it has to be and J8 is greater than F3 and it is also less than F4? I could have. If I wanted to, I could have put an and, but we don't need to. So everyone, the reason I did it in a few different ways is to show you that it is not that easy. You will have to think a lot. Let me just show you the formula once. I know it's a little difficult, but I want you all to try this out once. Just like this. So if the value is less than F3, 0, less than F4, G3, less than F5, G4, otherwise it is 12,500. Like this. This is not the only way of doing it. When we do VLOOKUP, I will show you how this entire formula will work in one formula. As in, you don't have to write so many different lines in it, right? But it is good. The reason I'm covering this topic is because it is important, right, to understand how these complex formulas are written. So I know it's challenging, but let's make sure we practice this.
For this to fix in the formula, you are putting function F4, no? For the last time.
Yeah, F4 or function F4, depending on what type of keyboard you have.
Avis, without
Yes.
doing this J and K column, working out. J and K column we worked out, no?
You could have done it directly also. Yeah, absolutely. I could have written directly here that it is, if I may show you.
So here my question is, if you not fix the percentage, so what will happen? The result will come or result will vary?
I will explain that also. Just give me a moment. One second. Because somebody was asking me that if I don't do J and K, what will happen? So basically, I'll have to write it like this. Every time I'll have to calculate the growth, but it will work perfectly, as you can see. Okay. But I thought it would become even more complex without, solving any purpose. So I thought it's better to first calculate the achievement in a different column and then write this formula. Right now, somebody asked me that if you don't put the dollar, what will happen? It will not work because, see, if I don't put the dollar, I'm removing it. Okay. Every time I copy the formula down, everything is coming as 0 or some incorrect result. You see my cells are also going down. Look at this part. It should always look at my incentive slab, which is in, let me highlight it for you. It should always look at my incentive slab, which is from here to here, right? But the problem is that if I don't put a dollar sign, this area, right, which is F3, F4, F5, G3, G4, every time it is changing automatically. Look at this. It is also moving down, which is not correct, right? And that's the reason, actually here also we can write G5, it's easier. Every time it is moving down like this, which I don't like, that's the reason I have to put dollar sign. That is a must. I hope that was clear. Avinash, see, if you want to lock anything, what are we locking here? This part, right? Let me write it here. Just give me a moment. Let me write it at the bottom, or let me write. Yeah. So the incentive slab has dollar signs because these cells are used again and again. Now, can somebody tell me why are we not putting a dollar on J8? Can somebody guess and tell me why are we not putting a dollar on J8?
Because
We need to
it's a result. It's a result.
In the
That's
next,
why.
tell me something. In the next cell, do I want J8 to become J9? Yes or no?
yes,
Obviously, that is why if I put a dollar on J8, what will happen? It will not become J9. But
yes.
in the next formula, do I want F3 to become F4 and F4 to become F5? No. That's the reason I'm putting a dollar sign on that. Right? That is how you can decide where to put a dollar, where not to put a dollar. And see, never worry. If you make a mistake, you can always fix it later, right? So it is not that you have to make it perfectly in the first go. Even if you make a mistake, you can always go and fix it later, right? If you don't get the results that you want. Like I promised, I will show you two better ways of doing this, but I wanted you to learn it because it covers a lot of different topics. But I will still show you one other way of doing it. So I'm not removing it. I'm just making some space and look at this, everybody. I'll take a screenshot so that you can see this. And I'm sure all of you will agree that Havish, the second formula is much simpler than the first one. So this is my first formula. My second way of writing the formula is this. Please watch. So incentive can also be calculated using something called if-s. Let's see how this works. Same thing, a little simpler. I will say if J8 is less than F3, then the result should be 0. Now I don't need to put another if because I have put if s. Now I can say if J8 is less than F4, then the result should be G3, right? And we can also break it into different lines, which I will do. Then once again, let me just copy this entire thing. J8 is less than F5, then it should be G4. And finally, we will have to say if J8 is greater than equal to F5, it should be G5. Okay. As you can see, everybody, we are getting exactly the same answer, but the formula is a little easier, is what I feel, right? But I wanted to show both of them to you. Look at them and tell me if you have any question. Let me just put some spaces here so that you can see this clearly. One second. That's very important to have some spaces in the formula. Just a minute. Yeah. How should I show it to you? Let me take screenshots, okay, of both these things. Just a minute. So let me take a screenshot of the first formula and put it like this. And let me also take a screenshot of the second formula. So first formula, everyone, and this is my second formula. This is the last topic in if, so make sure to ask me as many questions as you want. After that, we will continue with VLOOKUP. Let me see the questions. Will dragging down the
So
entire
here I
result will
found,
get copied?
so
Absolutely,
instead of-
Hitesh. Yes, please.
Yeah, so the formula means I got the formula and I got the result as well in the first cell, but when I'm dragging it down to get the result in all the cells, it is showing me the correct formula, means it's taking like I8, I9, I10 like that. But the answer is coming 1,25,000 only for the 12,500 only in all the cells.
Just share your screen. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah, just double click. If I8 is less than F3, it is 0. If it is I8 is less than F4, it is G3. I8 is less than F5, it is yeah. Just copy it down once again.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just go to the second formula and double click. Just go to the second formula
The
and double click.
second,
Yeah. No. Your achievement percentage is a number. It should be a percentage.
which one?
In column I, these are not percentages.
Okay, so I have to like this should be percentages. Then I have to convert it to percentages. Then only I'll get the answer.
Exactly.
Just, if I change it from here,
No. It will not work like that. Your calculation has to be done again. I'll tell you. Equal to. Just write what
in
I'm
this
telling
one, I've done the calculation only like this.
you. No. This doesn't make sense. What is E8 divided by D8? No, not like this. I'll tell you. Just write again. Equal to 1 plus. Right? 1 plus. Open the bracket. Then say E8 divided by D8 minus 1 and close the bracket. Right? This will give you the correct number. Once you convert it into a percentage,
Okay.
just drag it down. Now the formulas will work.
Okay. Sure. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Great. Tell me, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer if or if s? Everyone, I have both the formulas in front of you. If S, right? And why?
Yes.
Because you don't have to
If
write
S.
3 if. There is only one bracket. Here there are 3 brackets, right? Even though they are very similar, you notice that this part is almost 90% same. Only the last part is different, where you have to look at greater than equal to 150%. Other than that, is 90% similar. But I would prefer if S any day over the if statement. But then why am I covering it? Because sometimes if S will not work, right? You have to use if and you have to learn how to put multiple if statements. Right? That's the reason I spent so much time on this. But yes, as much as possible, try to use if S because if S is much simpler. Right. Any questions?
Should I try once again because I had calculated the percentage. In fact, I was trying to put the formula, but I'm finding little difficulty. Should I upload?
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I want to share my screen.
Okay.
Sorry. Should I?
Please go ahead.
Hello, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that you can share your screen.
Okay, okay. Okay, you can see now.
Yeah, so you will have to say that if H8 is less than, not E8, less than F3. No, F3. H8 is less than F3. Remove the E8, that is not correct. Yeah, less than F3.
This one,
Put a
right?
dollar, comma, comma.
Less than F3.
Then you have to place the comma
Sorry.
after F3.
Okay.
Remove the less than sign. You don't need that. Right? If it is less than 100%, then the result is no. Why are you selecting E8? If it is less than 100%, what is the incentive the person is getting? See, if the achievement is less than 100%, what is the incentive? 0. So you write 0.
Great. Achievement is 100%, inside is 5,000.
No. If you're saying if 155 is less than 100, if it is less than F3, then the result will be 0 now.
Basically, problem is that today my voice is literally cracking. I don't know whether you are able to hear me properly or not.
No, I'm not able to hear you properly. I think let me share my screen. I would suggest that you please try to reconnect because, like I said, I have a 350 Mbps connection, so definitely not, and I'm connected on LAN, not even on Wi-Fi. So might be some disturbance on your
Let
end.
me disconnect and rejoin again.
Sure, please.
Your
Yeah, I
voice
think you
is
should do
not
that.
clear to, even for me also.
Yeah, right. So some problem. Just try to reconnect. Okay. In the meantime, anybody else? Any question on this?
Sometimes are you facing same problem? Actually, his voice is fast. His mouth movement is there. Then again, I'm able to
Raja,
hear him.
might be the problem is from your mic. Just change the headset or something like that also. You can try with that.
I would suggest that you disconnect and reconnect because it will not get better like this. Right? You will have to try to connect once again. That would be my suggestion. Anyone else? Any questions? See, the challenge that comes in, I'm just muting everyone. It's a lot of noise. Please unmute yourself when you require. Okay. The challenge is that when I'm with you, as a trainer and I'm telling you first write this and then put F4 and then put F5. Once you're with me, it becomes easy because the formula is not very complicated. The problem is that when you're doing it yourself, that is when the challenge comes, correct? But then that is the same for me also, for you also, right? I mean, when we work ourselves, there is a lot of hit and trial that goes into it. So you have to try different things. You have to experiment a lot. It is not that I know the perfect formula the first time, right? Every time I have to do some different things to arrive at the correct formula, right? So never be afraid of experimenting or making mistakes. That happens to all of us, right? That's the only thing I wanted to share with you. Great. So now that we have done this, we can, of course, I'll send you the file and all of you can practice. And when we meet tomorrow, you can ask me all the questions that you have, right? But I think let's go to VLOOKUP now. So let's close this and come to 003, everyone. 003. Now there are 4 examples that I will be covering. Let's open the first one. 003, 001, the very first one. Right? And let's start with our basic VLOOKUP and then we will slowly increase the difficulty. Please open this file, everyone. 003, 001. Okay. Can somebody tell me what is the correct result? What is the name of this person? AB1001514002.
Aaron.
Aaron Bergman.
Aaron
Everybody
Bergman.
agrees? If I look at JR162, you can see that it is Justin. So we know what we want to do. So I'm just going to highlight a few things. Number 1, what are we searching for? We are searching for this. So this is my step number 1. Where we are searching for this customer. Just a minute. Okay. We're searching for this customer. And where are we searching? We are searching in column F, G, and H. No. I will search in column F, G, and H. Now, some of you might say, but Havish, why are you selecting G? Of course, we have to, because once I search for the correct customer, I also have to get the name right. Now, some of you might say, but why are you selecting H? What is the harm? Select H also, so that if you want the region also, you can get the region answer. So I will select F, G, and H. In F, G, and H, where will it search? It will search for the name in the first column. How does it know that it is in the first column? That is a must. VLOOKUP will only search for a value in the first column. It cannot search it in the second or the third column. And where is the result? The result is like this, right? In the second column. So what we are saying is, we are saying that VLOOKUP. If you notice, VLOOKUP says that it will look for a value in the leftmost column of a table. That is why it will look in the F column. It will not look in G or H. And it will return a value in the same row from a column we specify. So which is the column we want? Column G. Let's see how we do this. VLOOKUP. Which value are we searching for? We are searching for B4, comma. What is the table array? Column F, G, and H. So I'll select the entire column. What is the column number for G? Where is the answer, everyone? The answer is in column G. So what should I write here?
G
1,0.
No.
4.
Okay, hold on. If I select F, G, and H, F, G, and H is how many columns? This red area that I've selected. 3 columns.
3 columns.
Out of these 3 columns,
3.
G is which one?
2.
The second one.
2.
That is what we need to write. So I'll write 2 here. Right? If I wanted the region, I would have written 3. Right? So I write 2. And finally, it asks me, are we searching for an exact match or an approximate match? Approximate, I will be covering a little later. But we are searching for exactly this customer. No, we are not searching for an approximate customer. So that's why
Yes,
I do a false, which will be an exact match, and it will tell me AB is Aaron. And if I drag it down, it tells me who these people are. This is the most simple VLOOKUP, but still, if you have any questions, please ask before we move on to the next example.
So in which case we will use true?
We will cover that. We use true when you're working with numbers, when you're looking up a number, like a slab, commission, grade, like the previous example I showed you, right? Whenever you're searching for a unique value like this, For unique values, you will always use exact match. Okay.
Okay.
So let me write it here. Exact match is for unique values, which could be ID, which could be name, which could be region, anything, right? And approximate match is only, I'm making this in bold, is only in the case of numbers. Right? So if you're looking up a number, then you can do an approximate match. We will cover that example as well, but 99 out of 100 times, you will be using the exact match, 99 out of 100 times. Right?
Havish, why we are using 2?
Yeah,
Can you
so
elaborate?
absolutely. In my table FGH, how many columns are there? FGH, how many columns are there? 3 columns?
Three.
Out of these 3 columns, F, G, and H, which is the answer? Name. Name is in the G column, which is the second column. Like that. That's the logic.
So whenever we are looking for that, wherever we need a result, we need to write that column number.
Exactly, because it asks you for the, like a lot of people say, Havish, why can't you write G? I can't write G because it is asking me to put the column number. Look at this column index.
Okay, index column. Okay.
There is one doubt.
Yep.
Havish,
I selected. I'm sorry, Mahesh.
Please, yeah, one by
you
one.
can proceed.
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
So what I did is equal to VLOOKUP, and I started like selecting B4. Okay. After that, by selecting that F5, F4 onwards, right? So manually I have selected. So what happens that the result is coming for till 13. Okay. After that, it is coming as NA. So I need to select all the complete column, right?
See, you can also select it like this, right? But you will have to put a $sign.
Okay. Fine.
But I always ask people, why do you want to do this additional work? Is it not much easier to write FH rather than putting the row number and then putting the $sign?
Yes. How
So
to
why
select
you
that?
chosen false?
I'm sorry, tell me again.
One more time, can you please do this by selecting this one? Because I was not able to do that.
By selecting the range, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Havish,
H12 with a $. Yeah.
if we find the region, then instead of 2, we need to place just 3, right?
Exactly. If I put 3 here, we will get the region. If you put 1, what will happen? Can anybody tell me?
So it will take the ID only.
It will give you the same result. It will show you the ID only, which makes no sense.
ID
right? Why would you want to put
yes.
1? We already know the ID, right? We only want 2 or 3 or 4, some number like that. So the number cannot be negative. It cannot be 0. What if I put 4? What will happen?
Error.
It will be an error because we have only given VLOOKUP 3 columns and we are telling it to give me a result from the 4th column. How is it possible?
And one more thing, Havish, this customer ID, I want to find it from some dump actually. So in that case, I need to select only F and then I need to comma 0, right? 0 and the close bracket for false.
No.
True, I have to use.
I'm sorry, what 0?
For example, you have customer ID left hand side, right?
Okay.
So I want to exactly match with the dump actually.
Okay.
So if I want to match with the dump, I have to use true or false here.
No, when you say match with the dump, what does that mean? Hold on, let me try to
I need to compare the 2 sheets actually. This customer ID 10,
got
for example.
Got it. So basically, you're saying that this is your first list, right?
Yes.
And this is your compared list, right?
Compared
and
list.
I'm just taking a few of them. So you want to check if this value is appearing in the second one also or not. You will put column number 1. Right? So let me just do it for you. I will say equal to VLOOKUP. We are searching for B3 in only one column, E. And exact match. So it will tell me wherever it is coming, it will show me the value. Wherever it is not coming, it will show me an error.
Okay.
Simple.
Thank you.
Nothing complicated here. Just a minute.
Got it, Havish.
Right. Any other question? Okay. What if the ID is in column G and the name is in column F? Can somebody give this answer? Vishal is asked. What will happen if the ID is in column G and the name is in column F? It will not work.
Yeah, it
VLOOKUP
will
will
not work.
only work if you look at the definition. Look at this. VLOOKUP says that it will look for a value in the leftmost column of a table. So if your ID is not the leftmost column, it will not work. I
Index
will cover
matching.
that example as well, where I tell you how to do that. But first, let's make sure. But VLOOKUP cannot do it. The short answer is VLOOKUP will not be able to do that.
Only option is index match.
No, there is another option now, which I'll explain right after this, after we have done this. I'll teach you a much easier way of doing it. Good. Any other question, anyone? Okay. Um, can you just copy this sheet, everyone? Just make a copy of this sheet. Of the same sheet, just copy it and delete all the results and just change the order of the column like this. Like I've done. Just put ID in column G and name in column N. Like somebody asked you the question. So this is what we want to find out, right? So Vishal asked me, what will happen if ID is in column G and result is in column N? Can VLOOKUP work? Is there any way of making VLOOKUP work here? Anyone? VLOOKUP
No
cannot
idea,
work
Hevish.
at all. Okay. Please remember this very well. Under any circumstance, no matter how good you are with Excel, how complex your formula is, VLOOKUP cannot work if ID is not the first column. Right? This is a rule, number one. But what do you do if you want to get the answer? There is a function called XLOOKUP. This is a new function. This came last year. In XLOOKUP, what is my lookup value? B4. What is my lookup array? Can anybody guess? I know all of you are using it for the first time, but can you guess what is the lookup array?
Same like F2H.
F2H, yeah. G.
F, G, H.
We are looking up a value, so we will look it up in column G, right? And which is the return array? Column F.
Yes.
Is it not simple? And it is working. So despite the fact that the result is on the left of the ID, XLOOKUP will still work.
Okay.
So this is much easier than index match, isn't it? Those of you who have been using index match, this is much, much simpler than that.
Absolutely.
Here, why we are not using that number one?
Exactly. Because if you look at the arguments, here you don't select a table and the column number. In VLOOKUP, what are we doing? In VLOOKUP, we first select the table. That means the entire table. Then we select the correct column. XLOOKUP doesn't do that. XLOOKUP says you only have to select two columns. One is the lookup column. The other is the return column. Right? Okay. If I wanted region as a result, what would I do? Anyone?
Select H.
H.
So I will just take my F and replace that with H. Simple. Right? So the advantage of XLOOKUP is that it can go both to the left and to the right. You're absolutely correct. Why are we not using the column number? Because we don't have to. Because we're directly selecting the column with the result in it. So there's no need of writing a number.
Got it.
Okay. XLOOKUP is 100 times simpler than VLOOKUP, to be honest. VLOOKUP is such an old function. It was launched in 1986. And for 35 years, it has been around. And XLOOKUP finally came last year, and it is so much better than VLOOKUP.
This is super.
Anywhere where you're using VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP will work, right? But it is not that VLOOKUP is not important. Don't think that, oh, XLOOKUP I can replace completely. VLOOKUP I can replace with XLOOKUP. VLOOKUP has its own advantages, right? When you want to make the column number dynamic or you want to create a complex dashboard. But I would say 9 out of 10 times XLOOKUP will be much simpler than using VLOOKUP.
So the next generation would be only XLOOKUP rather than VLOOKUP.
Yes, absolutely. Like I teach at a lot of business schools, right? So when I teach at business schools, even before teaching VLOOKUP, I'm teaching XLOOKUP. So when these MBA students will enter into their jobs, the first thing they will try to do is XLOOKUP. They will not try to do VLOOKUP. So you're absolutely correct that in the next maybe 1 or 2 years, when the new MTs and the new joinees come in, they will start using XLOOKUP.
Then if I ask you that I don't know about VLOOKUP, so then I directly can jump into XLOOKUP.
So anyway, but that's just how it is. But you know what? The answer is that VLOOKUP is not going away anyway. You know, it is. A lot of people say, "Oh, this is great. I don't need VLOOKUP." No, but VLOOKUP is very important, as you will see in the other examples.
Okay, thank you.
This is excellent. All right. Okay, let's continue with the next example then. Let's come to 003, 002, everyone. The second VLOOKUP. I think you will like this example. Let's see. Can you tell me the problem in this workbook? What are we trying to do?
Only
What is
customer
log?
ID is there.
Okay.
Name is not mentioned.
And where is the name? Where is the database?
Next.
From
Next
Second
sheet.
sheet.
On a
Next
table
sheet.
sheet. Okay. Now, usually what we do is, don't do it because I'll teach you a better way. Usually we write VLOOKUP. Tell me, what do? You select B4. Then how do you select the table?
You have to go back to the table.
Exactly. That is very challenging, no?
Next table.
Because if you have 10 sheets, you will have to search for the correct sheet. Then you will have to select the column. Okay. What do you do after this? After the three columns are selected?
Comma.
Where do you put the comma? Now I'll have to go to the formula bar and put a comma. I will write 3 and I will
Yes.
write false.
Yes.
Is there anybody who does it in any other way than this? Everybody does this,
No.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now let
The
me
same
tell you a
way we are
better way of
doing
doing it. Please watch.
Please explain again this. Please explain again.
No, I'm not going to explain because I don't want you to do this. I want you to do it in a different way. Okay. Just watch. If you
Okay.
still want me to explain it, I will. But first, let me tell you the better way of doing it. But first, let's understand the topic. There's something called range names. If I write 1, 2, and 3, how do I get the sum of these three numbers? Equal to sum of P5 colon G7. Everybody agrees, right? But what I will do is I will select these three cells. Watch carefully. I will select these three cells and I will go to the name box, this one on the left side. Okay. So I'm selecting the three cells. I will go inside the name box and I will give it a name, any name. I will call it data. DATA, enter. Now, can somebody tell me what will be the formula? If I want to find the sum, what can I write? Equal to sum of? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Is it
Yes,
not much? Is it
yes.
not much easier than writing sum of G5, G7? Please try this out, everyone. First, select the three cells, right? Go to data and then give a name. I'll just highlight it for you. So you are going to data.
Hmm.
Right? Let me know if it's working for everyone.
Got it.
Is it working? Okay. Now, if I go to another sheet, okay, how will I get the sum of data? What do I write? Sum of. How do I select the data from another sheet? You know the best part? You don't have to select the other sheet. I can just write data. And Excel will automatically go to the other sheet, pick up the values and give me the result. See, usually what do? You will write equal to sum, then you will go to the other sheet and you will select it like this, correct? Like this. You'll have to write sum of, actually it should be sum of, just a minute. Like this. You will write, how should I show you the formula? Uh, 1 second. Equal to formula text. Let me convert this into a number. Okay. Usually what we do is we write our formulas like this. Sum of VLOOKUP, the VLOOKUP is the sheet, G5, G7. But look what I've done. I've just said sum of data. But how is sum of data working? How does Excel know where is the data? That is the beauty of giving a range name. That means the range name, right? So let me just explain it properly. So range name can be used from anywhere in the workbook. Does it make sense, everyone? Any sheet that you're working on, let's say I'm working on another sheet, sheet one. If I want the average of data, I can just write average of data. I do not have to explain to Excel where data is. Excel will automatically know where data is, right? So I don't have to put the sheet name, row number, column number, dollar sign. Nothing is required. Right? Tell me if it makes sense.
Can you explain once again how the 6 has come?
Hi, is somebody saying something? Please. Can multiple ranges be made in a workbook? Absolutely, Pankaj. You can make as many names as you want. There is no limit. You can have as many range names as you want, but it will only be inside the workbook.
The data part still I'm not clear.
See, I selected these three cells, right?
Okay.
Then I went to this box called the name box. I clicked
Okay.
inside, I gave it any name that you want and press enter.
Okay.
Okay. Have you done that?
Yeah, done that.
Is it coming? Is this data coming when you click on the drop down?
Yeah, data is coming.
Now just try to write equal to sum of data and see if you're getting the result on any cell in the workbook.
Equal to sum, okay. And then data. We need to type no data.
Type, you have to type.
Yeah, yes.
Is it coming? Okay. Now try to write equal to sum of data on a different sheet, not on the same sheet, but on a different sheet, and see if it is working.
Yes, it is okay. Fine.
That's it. Okay.
Got it.
Now tell me.
Abhish, can you please repeat once again because I'm unable to do that.
Okay. Have you selected these three cells and given it a name?
One second. Okay, done.
Right? Have you given it a name here? Data.
Yeah, data. Yeah,
Is
I've
this
given
is
that.
this data coming when you click on the drop down?
Yeah, I got it.
Right? That's it. Now just write equal to sum of data and see if you're getting the result as 6.
Havish, while we are typing first word itself, it's showing that file we have created is showing actually. Then we can select.
No, tell me again.
So I have created my name Magesh in the file actually.
Okay.
So when I put sum and open bracket, when I put M, it's showing that
It will come.
down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it will tell you that there is a name called data that has been given. Absolutely. Okay, now we have learned what I showed you, but why are we doing this? The reason is that now I can go to database and I can give a name to column C, D, and E. Please select this C, D, and E, everyone. Just select the 3 columns.
Yes.
Now give it a name. Just call it VL data for VLOOKUP. Any name that you want. Spaces are not allowed. So you can't put a space in the name. Just give it any name that you want. So I'm calling it VL data. And also make sure to press enter after you have given the name. Right? So once you have given VL data, we should be able to write the VLOOKUP. We will say equal to VLOOKUP. What are we searching for? V4. Where are we searching? Simple, VL data. Column number is 2 and range lookup is false. like this.
Then false. Why not true?
See, it will always be false because you're doing an exact match. I'm searching exactly for this customer ID.
Okay, okay, fine.
Right? We will cover an example of true as well. Not in the next example, but in the fourth example.
Okay, okay, understood.
Always, this is exercise you asked us to do, like to shortcut it, right? To going for the another seat to select. Instead of that,
Is
we
it
are giving the name
absolutely,
and you're
absolutely?
putting
Don't
into
you feel
customer.
that this is much easier rather than
Yes,
going to
yes.
the other sheet and selecting? Then you have to select, find, you have to find, select, put a dollar sign. Here you have to do nothing. It will automatically go to the correct sheet and take the data.
Absolutely.
The VLOOKUP is
Havish,
nothing different. I covered VLOOKUP earlier also. The only difference is that we are giving a name to the range. Yes,
yeah,
please.
Havish here, we have selected, we have named it VL data. Then why we are writing two? Because we have selected all the three rows.
No, no, we have selected the three column, but our result is in the second
Yes.
column. No? That's why. If you wanted region, you would have put three.
Okay, if I want the result for the region, I would have written three.
Exactly. If you make it three, you will get the region.
Okay. So if I don't want, okay, fine, fine. Done.
Okay, can somebody tell me, this is a very advanced technique, okay? Can somebody tell me how do you get the result from 2 and 3 at the same time? It is
Yeah,
possible,
pardon
no,
me,
that
please
I
come
want to
back.
know the name and the region at the same time.
I don't think so. It's not possible.
It is possible. Obviously, I will ask you only when it is possible. No? See, please do this. Make a curly bracket like this and write 2 comma 3. Press enter and see what happens. Is it working?
Yes.
Yes, in the very next column, the region is there.
It's very interesting, no? Writing only one single formula, I have got 2 results. If you ask anybody that is it possible to get 2 results with one VLOOKUP, everyone will say no, it's not possible, right? But it is possible, as you can see, right? Like this.
Abis, can you please go to the database sheet?
Yeah.
It is coming with only the curly sign.
That is a must, right? So this curly, this is the only way you can do this curly bracket.
So we can add a number of rows, 2, 3,
You
4,
can
5,
say
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can even say 2, 4, 5. It is not that you have to give it in an order. You only select the columns that you want. Does it not
How
happen
many we can
sometimes?
give it?
Any number, any number. So you can give any number of columns. If you say 10, it will give you 10 results at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see the question. How do you use VLOOKUP? How do you use XLOOKUP when you declare the table name, or is it required to declare a table name? Vishal, we will not be able to use XLOOKUP when I have given a name like this. Because XLOOKUP, we have to select only one column. So it will not be possible. Because here we gave a name to the table, right? So it will only be in the case of a VLOOKUP. If you were using XLOOKUP, then you will have to give different names. So I'll have to give one name to the ID column, one name to the name column, one name to the region column, like that. So I'll also do this VLOOKUP with, so that all of you can go back and practice this with multiple column. And remember, there is no limit. You can give as many columns as you want, and it will give you the result. Great. Any questions, anyone on this?
when I'm putting the left side name, which is not taking, like no, it is not saving.
What is not taking?
See, when I select 1, 2, 3, when I want to give name left side in the name, suppose if I want to give data, okay, but I click again, it is coming row only.
I'm not sure I follow. 1, 2, 3 is coming. See,
The left side in the name, when you give some name, not this actually. When it comes
no,
to
I'm not
some
able to follow. You'll have to share your screen so that I can help you. Can you share your screen? Let's see.
It's not working for me also, Avish. Can I share?
Yeah, please share your screen.
So Havish, I have a question. So after selecting the C, D, and E column of database, I need to go for the rename, right? So rename how I should do?
Just one by one. So just show me your sheet, please.
Can you see my screen?
I can see the screen. Just make the Excel full screen. Let's see. Yeah, so this means that your Excel is not updated because this is only available with the latest version of Excel. So you'll have to speak to IT and get your Excel updated. The formula is correct, but
Okay.
the formula is correct.
So which version is this?
No, the version is the same, but the update has not come. You're working on Microsoft 365, but the latest update has not been installed. Just go to File and Account, I'll tell you. Go to File and then go to Account. Account is the third last option. Yeah, do you see that updates are managed by a system administrator? So you're working on the correct Office 365, but then you will need to have the update from the system administrator. That should not be a problem. Office updates will not be restricted.
Okay. Formula is correct otherwise, right?
100%. Formula is correct.
So Havish, should I share my screen?
Please.
Okay. Okay, see the database, right?
Yep.
You can see now. These are the database. Then I need to go VL data, right?
Enter. Right.
It's done. Then okay, it's working now.
Maybe you forgot to press enter. If you don't press enter, then the name is not saved.
Okay, it means VLOOKUP.
Right.
This one.
Right. Comma.
Then VL data.
Exactly.
Comma.
2, which is the result.
2, then false. Right. Then if I have to enter then curly bracket I need to enter, right?
Yeah. That I'm not sure if you have the latest update or not, but let's see. Okay. So
it's coming.
Excellent.
I am also using the same version.
No, that's what I'm saying. All of you have the same. See, the subscription is the same, but the update has not happened. That's all. Because this feature is very new, right? That's why some of you don't have it. Just speak to IT, tell them that I want to get this updated, and they will get it done for you.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. Any other question, anyone? So far we have seen VLOOKUP. I've shown you how to give a name to a data, and this additional tip that I gave you, this one. Also, if you want to look on the left side, we use XLOOKUP. VLOOKUP will not work. Right? We will do 003 a little later. Let's start with 004, the last one. 003, 004. 003 004. Right? Okay. Does this example look familiar? We did this with if, remember? And now I want to show you how simple it is with a VLOOKUP. I could have done the same thing. I could have said that if S less than 100, less than 125, less than 150, greater than 150. Or what I can do is I can say VLOOKUP C4, table arrays column G and H, column number 2 and false. Can somebody tell me what will be the result? If I search for 161 in this column G, what will be the result?
Then it may come percentage wise.
No,
20%.
No. Hold on.
Zero.
In the column G, is there a value called 161? No. So it will give an error. Correct? But if I change it to an approximate match, it will give me 20%. Let me just convert it into percentages. How cool is that? If this was 67, it will be an error because it is not 100. If it is 80, let's say 123, it will become, sorry, this is 123, it will become 10%. If it is 145, it will become 15%. Do you see how simple it is compared to what we did earlier, where we had to write if, and if S. VLOOKUP approximate match can do the same result, what I showed you earlier.
Okay, this is for approximate match.
This is approximate match. Approximate match will only work with numbers because we are searching a VLOOKUP for a number right now. It will not work with customer ID, product code like that, like we were doing earlier. Does it always round down to take the value or does it find the closest match? Vishal, it finds the correct slab. It is not finding the closest match. 123 is not 15%. 123 is 10%. Even 124 will be 10%. 124.99999 will also be 10%. It is only when it becomes 125 will it become 15%. Right? So it is not finding the closest match. It is finding the correct match. 123 is between 100 and 125. 101 is also between 100 and 125, right? Like that. So let me just write it down here, just a minute. So approximate match does not find the closest match, right? What it does is it finds the correct slab, right? Like this. I hope that makes sense. So it is not finding the closest match, it is finding the correct slab.
Bhavish, is it like that when we need to find the approximate match, we need to write true, and when we need to find the exact match, we need to write false?
Exactly. This is given here. So true is for approximate, false is for exact.
Okay, fine.
So how you will identify the where to need put true and where to utilize the false?
See, first thing is that approximate match will only work with numbers. It cannot work with anything else, right? You use approximate match when you have slab, commission, grade, incentives like that. Whenever you're searching for a description, the date of joining, reporting manager, sales amount, that is when you will use exact match.
Okay.
See, I cannot use exact match here because how do I search for 123? I don't have 123 in my slab. I have 123 between two numbers, right? That is why we are using approximate.
Wherever we are using VLOOKUP, we can also use XLOOKUP also.
I'm thinking. Not exactly, because like in VLOOKUP, if you want multiple columns, I can write 2, 3. Like I showed you earlier, you can't do that in XLOOKUP, right? Oh. So that is one limitation of using XLOOKUP. Can I use XLOOKUP to get this result? Let me just check. I'm not quite sure. So I'm searching for C4. I'm searching in G. My result is in H. Match mode is 1. No, it should be minus 1.
2 comma.
Yeah, it will come. It will work.
It's coming.
It's working.
Okay.
Same thing. I mean, basically, you have an option here. Are you doing an exact match, or here the options are a little different? So you have exact, next smaller, but basically minus 1 is
Why there is 2 comma you mentioned?
that is for an if not found. So if you have an error, you can also say that if there is an error, put a 0. So this way the errors will come as 0. Like this. All of this is explained in my YouTube playlist that I shared with you, the 60-second tips. I've explained how XLOOKUP works. I will not be getting into detail at this point because this will take a lot of time. And still, to this day, most of your work will happen through VLOOKUP. I know XLOOKUP is very nice, but very few people know about it. So people might not be happy that you're using XLOOKUP. What is that 2? 2 is the column, no? We are searching in column G, we are getting the result from column H. Column number.
I can hear like.
Hi, tell me.
Good.
Any other question? See, VLOOKUP approximate match is not very common. Like I said, out of 100 times that you use VLOOKUP, 99 will be exact match, right? But 1 out of 100 times, this will be handy. Like in this example, we have slabs and incentive. You want to look at aging, grades, commissions, right? Between two numbers. That is where VLOOKUP approximate can be used. But the same thing I can do with if statements also. That is also possible. But VLOOKUP is much simpler than using an if statement. Great. Any question, anyone? So one is that I will be sharing the file with you. You will get the recordings as well. But if you still want to practice more, let me just show it to you. In my 60-second tips, okay, on Excel, I have given some 20 examples on different types of lookups. Let me just show it to you. Just a minute. Do you see this? Basic VLOOKUP, how to apply for arguments, error, how to pick the range like I did with you, indirect. Then I have VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP. Then I also have examples on index match, XLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, offset, like this. And the best part is that each topic has been explained in around 1 minute. So you don't have to spend a lot of time doing all this, right? So this is the playlist, everyone. There is a lot of content on my website, but if you watch nothing else, at least watch this one. This will not take you a lot of time, but you will learn many different tips and tricks and features, right, on Excel. 60-second tips. I'll just share the link once again. By the way, exactly like this, I also have 60-second tips on PowerPoint. Right? So I've explained different topics in PowerPoint, each in 60 seconds. If you want long videos, I have long videos also. I have videos that are 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours also. As you can see, these are all over 1 hour. That is also there. But if you're in a hurry, if you don't have a lot of time, then you can watch the 60-second videos. No, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. That would be great. I have just hit 2,000 subscribers. So always nice to, if you like the content, it would be great if you subscribe us. Excellent. There is one example left in VLOOKUP, but I don't want to do it now. I think we have done quite a lot. We will do that one last example tomorrow, which is VLOOKUP with match. Right? But anything else you would like to ask before we wrap up the session? Anyone? the agenda for tomorrow is that we complete VLOOKUP, that one example, and then we go to pivot tables, right? So we have a very nice data set that I've taken, and I've taken a sales data, right, which all of you will be able to relate to, and it's a large data set. I mean, not a large, but it has a clean data set with a lot of columns, 1500 rows, and we will be making some pivot tables on this. So that's the topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll focus on pivot tables. Once we've done pivot tables, after that we will go to charts. So I'll teach you how to make different types of charts. Great. Any question, anyone? Great. So I will be sharing the files with you, the solutions that we have written today. Take out 15-20 minutes and try to practice it. If you have any questions, obviously you can ask me tomorrow. So great. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Avish.
Thank you, Avish. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.